Okay, welcome back to second part of the session, module 6, last module in the course. I hope you did understand the first two sections, and right now we will start section number 1, and always section number 1 is the grammar part. So let's have a look at the grammar that what we have today. So today we'll talk about future perfect tense. Let's see what do I mean by the future perfect tense. Okay, so we'll talk about future tenses, future perfect tenses, and passive. So let's see what do I mean by the future tenses. Okay, future perfect simple tense. Well, this is a tense we typically use when we want to talk about an action being finished before a certain point in the future. Again, what does it mean when I say that this is a future perfect simple tense? It means is that there is a certain action I was doing actually and it finished before a certain point in the future. Well, actually, to understand more, let me give you an example of that. Well, by 10 o'clock, I'll have finished the VLAN configurations. It means that when it comes 10 o'clock, I'll have finished that. Okay? Can I say that after 10 o'clock? No. At some time before 10 o'clock or exactly 10 o'clock. So when it comes 10 o'clock, I'll have finished. So it means I started working, doing something. I started doing the VLAN configuration some certain time ago, but by 10 o'clock, I will finish that. Okay, so here we are using by 10 o'clock to suggest that the work will finish at some point before 10, but that we expect it to be no later than 10 o'clock. Okay, do we expect is that we'll finish the configuration after 10 o'clock? No, by 10 o'clock. It means at a certain time before that or exactly at 10 o'clock. This is the meaning of the future perfect simple tense. Okay, well, let's talk about the form. The form is very simple. It's like I use well plus have plus past participle to the verb, and you know past participle to the verb means it's the third form of the verb. If I have like so simply the verb, let's talk about go. The second form is went, so this is the past participle, the third one, which is gone. Okay, so we will work with the third form of the verb or past participle to the verb. Let's have a look at some more examples. Well, by tomorrow noon, my older sister will have traveled to Spain. It means is that she she'll she will be gone. Okay, by tomorrow noon. Okay, so here I have timing in the future, tomorrow noon. By that time, my sister already will be there. Okay, so it means my older sister will have traveled to Spain. She will be there. Okay, so can I make it negative? Yes, easily you can make it negative. By tomorrow noon, my older sister won't have traveled to Spain. So I just add not after will to be will not or won't have traveled to Spain. Not reached. She will not reach in that time. Okay. Okay, well, we can also use this tense to talk about how long an action has been happening up to another action or point in future. What's the meaning? It means how long this action took place. We'll see. On Monday, I will have been on the project for exactly 6 months. This means is that when it reaches this Monday, when Monday comes, I'll have been on the project. I'll have worked on the project. يعني أنا هكون بقيت أو تميت شغل في البروجكت ده لمدة 6 months. Here I am talking about the duration, the period of time, الفترة الزمنية, how long it will take till I finish the project, okay? So here 6 months, it means how long has he been working in the project, okay? So as today is Saturday, let's imagine that today is Saturday. هبقى شغال قد ايه في البروجكت ده لو ان النهارده Saturday. We have been working on the project for 5 months and 28 days. So when it comes Monday, it will be 6 months. Have you got that? So here I am talking about the duration of time. Okay? Well, so first one I was talking about the future perfect simple one. But this time I'll talk about the future perfect continuous. Okay, continuous means ing, right? Let's see how to use that and how do we use it and what does it mean, okay? So we use it to talk about something that began in the past and is continuing into the future. Okay, like what? When you arrive back, we will have been running the penetration test for a week. Okay, so when you arrive back means this is simple present. Okay, when you arrive back, will have been working. كنا بدأنا نشتغل فيه وعلى وصولك هنبقى كده شغالين فيه بقالنا. Okay, penetration for a week, 1 week. Okay, have you got the point? In this case, the penetration test begins a week before you arrive in the future. Okay, but is it still in progress, still working on that when you arrive? Okay, not finished. So when you arrive, we'll have been running the penetration test for a week. Okay, so this is what I mean by the future perfect continuous tense. It means that I'm talking about something that began in the past and still continuing into the future time. Okay, what is the form? I will tell you. The second point in the future often includes a result, like what? When you arrive back, we'll have been running the penetration test for a week. So this is the result. So we can start thinking about the report since we are about to finish that. Okay, so we will start to write the report. This is the result. Okay, what is the form of this tense actually? Will have been verb ing, will have been running, will have been playing, will have been resolving, and so on. Okay, so in our example we are using the present simple first when you arrive back. يبقى أول جزء من الجملة بتاعتي have a look at the verb arrive. Arrive here is in the simple present. Okay, followed by the future perfect continuous, will have been running. Okay, and this is what I mean by the future perfect continuous tense. Okay, Let's talk a little bit about passive. Do you remember the passive when we talked about it module 1, and I said actually is that when I use a passive form, this means that the action is more important or serious than mentioning the subject or the person who did that. So it's here, it's the same. So I have sometimes we make our sentences passive if the action is more important than the person doing it. Okay, so here I have important actions. Okay, how can I make a passive with the future perfect tense? Let's see. Well, I said that the future perfect consists of will, have, pp. Okay, so are we going to add something? If you remember, when I talked about passive, I said always to form a sentence in the passive, you need verb to be. Let's see how can we add verb to be here. Okay. Okay, let's read the sentence. The updates will have been finished by 10 o'clock. Oh, yeah. So we started by the updates. Okay. Will have been finished. Where is verb to be here? Yes. I hear some people, some of my clever students are saying been. Excellent. Okay, so I added been here. Well, why did I use verb to be in the third form? Because actually here this tense says that will have, and usually with the perfect tenses I use been. And this time this is the future perfect. Okay, so with the perfect I use been, and also it should be finished followed by a pp or past participle. So the verb will be will have been finished. Okay, sentence 2, the firewall issues will have been resolved. Okay, so always when I add passive with the perfect, I add been. Yes, that's right. Exactly. Okay, so it's will have been plus third form of the verb, which is resolved, finished. Okay, this is the passive with the future perfect tense. Okay, so right now let's come to the exercise and let's see if whether we understood this one or not. Okay, so select the correct answer option between future perfect continuous, or present perfect to complete each sentence. So let's choose which tense are we going to use for every sentence. Okay, by tomorrow, the first draft of the information security policy. What do you think? Exactly, yes. By tomorrow we will have sent. Okay, this is which tense is this? Yes, very good. Future perfect tense. Okay, so question 2. These new security standards for 3 months by next Friday. Again, these new security standards for 3 months by next Friday. What do you think? Yeah, I can hear some of you are doing great. Exactly. Have been developing perfect continuous. Why? Have a look. For 3 months duration. حددت الديوريشن الفترة الزمنية اللي أنا حاب أتمتها لما أوصل للnext Friday. Very good. Okay. Question 3. The hope is that by next month we all the necessary enhancements. So what do you think? will have completed. The hope is that by next month, we will have completed all the necessary enhancement, future perfect tense. Okay, question 4. I in charge of these training sessions since 2018. Okay, what do you think? Am I gonna use simple future, present perfect, future perfect continuous? What do you think? I in charge of these training sessions since 2018. Is that will have been being? Uh-oh, this is incorrect. So what do you think is the correct answer? Will have been or have been only? Have a look at the word since 2018. So the correct answer, excellent, have been. It means this is present perfect. Whenever I use have, whenever I use since and for, okay, without reference to the future. Do I have any reference to the future here? Actually, no. Not tomorrow, not next, not nothing. Okay, so it's going to be present perfect. Good. Question number 5. She training sessions all morning. So I imagine she will want some time to catch up this afternoon. What do you think? Why will have been running? Because I have something that refers to continuity all morning, okay? So she will have been running training sessions all morning. So I imagine she will want some time to catch up this afternoon, okay? So it refers to continuity. Question 6. She some recommendations to the security manager earlier today. It appears she was happy with them. So what do you think is the correct answer? Some people said she will have made, but this is incorrect. So what do you think? What is the correct answer? Yes, she has made some recommendations to the security manager earlier today. It appears she was happy with them. Why did I choose has made? Because I have no reference to the future. Okay. Exercise 2. Using the words in the patterns, type in the correct words to make the future perfect or future perfect continuous. So this time we're going to type or write the correct tense. Okay. So question number 1. By the time we remove the spyware software, the information, and I have the verb be, accessed. ايوه برافو، سمع ناس بتقول صح جدا. اوكي يلا dictate me، قولوا لي اكتب ايه. يلا just tell me. Yes, excellent. By the time we remove the spyware software, the information will have been accessed. Okay, future perfect tense. Very good. Next. Okay, we test these security solutions for 1 month next week. Okay, واداني duration هنا for 1 month next week. يبقى what's the correct answer? Yes, excellent. Will have been testing. So the main verb here is test. We'll add ing to test to be testing, and the body of the tense will have been. Okay? Question 3. I run 3 security training sessions by the end of today. By the end of today. So what's the correct answer? What do you think? Do you think is that okay? Just a second. Okay. Okay. Will have been running 3 security training sessions. Will have been running 3 security training sessions by the end of today. Okay. What about question 4? You complete the incidents reports before the meeting. Well, what do you think? Okay. Okay, what's the correct answer here? What do you think? I have you completed and I have to make a question. So what do you think is going to be the question? Yes, I can hear that some of you are answering correctly. Well, you have completed the incident reports before the meeting. Well, you have completed the incidents before the meeting. Okay. Well, question number 5. They work on these new security standards all week, so they will want us to review them as soon as possible. So, what do you think? Which one will we use? Perfect, future perfect, or future perfect continuous? Let's have a look at this. These new security standards all week. So we have something to refer to, continuity all week. So we'll be using future perfect continuous. They will have been working on these new security standards. Very good. Next, we recommend the new security enhancement by the end of week. By the end of week. So it means once I have by and then a certain point in the future. So the right answer will be will have recommended. Future perfect. Okay. And this is first section, grammar, future perfect. Let's move right now to the second grammar lesson, which will be section 3. And this is a very interesting and easy one to just talk about today. And it will help you make some kind of new sentences that maybe if you are not used to do them. Okay, here section 3 is about was or were on the point of. Okay, let's see what do I mean by this kind of expression. Let's have a look at that. Okay, to be on the point of doing something. To be on the point of doing something. Okay, means that we are going to look at typical phrase. What's this phrase? To be on the point of doing something. We usually use this phrase when we want to talk about something that's about to happen, but something interrupts that process. So let me explain in an example. Okay, let's see. We were, have a look at the example, please. We were on the point of finishing the development phase when we realized there were elements of the design that had been overlooked. So here, have a look at the form, please. So the form says whether to use was for singular, were for plural, and on the point of plus gerund. What's the meaning of gerund? Gerund means the verb plus ing. Okay, this is the gerund. Okay, so you change the verb into a noun by adding ing. That's a gerund. So how can I make a sentence? Again, let me read the example. We are on the point of finishing. يعني خلاص كنا خلاص بنخلص اهو بنخلص the development phase when what happened في obstacle في حاجة في مشكلة حصلت when we realized there were elements of the design that had been overlooked. للأسف فما قدرناش نخلص في الوقت. Okay, again another example. This is an example of something that's about to happen but is interrupted by an obstacle or there is a problem. Okay, so how to say it? I was on the point of launching the beta test when it became obvious that we needed more users. So here كنا خلاص هنعمل اللانشنج بتاع البيتا تيست but what happened? It became obvious واضح جدا ان that we needed more users. Okay, يبقى first part of the sentence was on the point of أو were on the point of and then I have a gerund. This is the verb plus ing, launching. Okay, second part of the verb when, after when, of course past. Okay, when it became obvious that we needed more users. Okay, so both of the parts of the sentence in the past. Okay, in a similar way to the first example, I have like this sentence shows us that something was about to happen but something else stopped the process. Okay, in both of the examples we can see the formula is the same. The verb goes in the gerund form after the phrase was or were on the point of. Okay, I have similar meaning. Okay, يبقى first one was or were on the point of. طيب عندي ايه كمان similar meaning معنى بالظبط زيه بيدي نفس المعنى. Okay, was were about to plus infinitive. This time I'm using infinitive not gerund. Why? لأن أنا عندي هنا to. I have preposition to. Okay, for example I was about to launch the beta test. أي نفس الجملة اللي فاتت بس this time this form is different. غيرت الفورم نفسه. Was about to. طبعا of course after to I will use infinitive. I was about to launch the beta test but what happened? We needed more users. this is the same as I was on the point of launching the beta test. Okay, so when I use was or were on the point of بعدها gerund. When I use I was about to بعدها infinitive. Okay, in all these examples we are talking about something that almost happened but was then prevented or stopped by something which interrupted the process. I hope this is simple and clear. Let's have a look at some exercises. Okay, so let's have a look at exercise 1. Well, select the answer option to complete each sentence. Question number 1. I was about the spyware software when you came in. So what is the answer? I was about uninstalling. I was about to uninstall. What do you think? Correct. Very good. Why? Because do you remember I said I was about should be followed by to infinitive. Okay, لكن لو كنت قلت I was or were on the point of كنت استخدمت بعدها gerund. Okay. Question number 2. They to conduct the penetration test. They were about to conduct or were to conduct or were on the point of. What do you think? طيب لو استخدمنا were on the point of لازم أجيب عندي gerund. عندي gerund؟ لا ما عنديش gerund. Okay. So what is the right answer? Okay, very good. So they were about to conduct the penetration test. I was on the point of. هنا عندي إيه؟ Was on the point of. It should be followed by what? Gerund. Okay. So the correct answer is سمع ناس بتقول صح. Excellent. Downloading. Next question 4. I just saw him. He was about to. What do you think? He was about to. Very good. After to infinitive. Report. Next, question 5. The security manager making these recommendations for security enhancements when the attack happened. So what do you think? The security manager was about to making, were on the point of making, was on the point of. طب أنا عندي هنا was on the point of and were on the point of. لازم أشوف هنا first like subject عندي إيه هنا singular or plural. بيقول the security manager singular or plural. Yes, singular. يبقى لازم أخد إيه؟ Excellent. On the was on the point of. Question 6. The tests run when the system failed. The tests were about being run, were about to be run, was on the point of being. طبعا of course was مش هختارها خالص لأن عندي هنا tests دي plural. يبقى I'll suggest something plural that's like were. طيب الإجابة الصحيحة هتبقى were about being run or were about to be run. What do you think? Excellent. لأن احنا قلنا about to should be followed by infinitive. Exercise 2. Fill the gap with the correct version of was, about to, or was on the point of. Question 1. I wish you hadn't interrupted me. I finishing this incident report. طيب finishing is a gerund. يبقى اختار ايه؟ I was on the point of finishing. Excellent. Very good. Question 2. As we report our findings. طيب I have the verb in a report. Report infinitive. As we were about to. Excellent. Because I have infinitive report. Okay. The system was on the point of, what do you think? B. احنا قلنا طبعا was on the point of should be followed by gerund. So being. So you change be into ing, so it will be being. Correct. I wish I could have joined the meeting, but we were about to begin. لأنه was or were about should be followed by to infinitive. Okay. Next, I start running the penetration test when I was called into the meeting. I excellent. I was about to start لأنه I have the verb start here is infinitive, so it should be preceded by was about to. Okay, question 6. They delivering the training session when they had to cancel due to a cyber attack. Okay, so pay attention of the verb delivering. So they were on the point of delivering. Excellent. That's very good. So we came to the end of grammar exercises, and last session in module 6 will be again listening. Do you remember when we had the listening with the information security officer? And this is part 2. So let's have a look at that. I want you to get ready. Prepare yourself for a listening conversation between, again, interviewer and the security officer, part 2. Where are your headphones? So please make yourself ready and let's start part 2 listening. Are you ready? I'm waiting for you. Okay. Before I start, I always have a look at some vocabulary, so it will help me to get the listening or to hit it from first time. So select the correct answer option that means the same as each word or phrase. Question number 1, you shouldn't be allowing your kids or your spouses to be using the same equipment. Have a look at the word spouses. What do I mean by spouses? Yes, spouses means husband or wife. When I say your spouse, it means your husband or your wife. Okay? Question number 2, if your company allows this, try to use a VPN. What's the meaning of VPN? Does it mean virtual public network? VPN. Where are the specialists here? Do you hear me? Who can correct me, please? Yes, I can hear some people are correcting that. So when I say VPN, it means virtual private, not public, okay? Virtual private network. Okay. Next, question 3. The easiest way to do it is to encrypt the data you are putting in the cloud before it reaches the cloud. So what do you think here? Make the message readable with a code. So encrypt, have a look at the word encrypt. What's the meaning of encrypt? To make a message unreadable with a code. نشفرها يعني, okay? Next, question 4. Even if the data is available in the cloud, then you still hold the keys for decrypting this. What's the meaning of to decrypt something? I know that encrypt أشفرها, decrypt أعيد أفك الشفرة بتاعتها. It means make another copy of the message. صح كده؟ لا مش صح طبعا. It means to make a coded message readable. أرجعها تبقى مقروءة تاني, أفك يعني الشفرة بتاعتها. Okay. Well, question 5. The operation which is being done with one key is reversible only with the other key. What does it mean to be reversible? To be able to perform the action in the opposite direction. أعمل نفس اللي أنا عملته ده opposite direction. Okay? Question 6. The other type of incidents are phishing incidents. أنا معناها إيه phishing incidents? Let's see. It means sending messages to try to get the reader to give away sensitive information. يعني إيه give away? Give away sensitive information يعني يفشي سر معلومات مهمة يعني. Okay? يبقى this is phishing incidents. Okay, question 7. In fact, we're providing this information to an attacker, to some malicious person. Malicious person هنا عندي. What do you think? What does it mean? Malicious person. Malicious person means dangerous person, not skilled person or skillful person. It's a dangerous person. Okay? Okay. Tips. Number 1, keep in the back of your mind. Keep in the back of your mind or your head. What does it mean? This means that you should never forget about something. You don't have to think about it all the time, but you should remember it when you need it. يعني حاجة كده شايلها في دماغي ودايما أنا عارفها. Okay, مش بفضل ماشي فاكرها طول. No, but when I need it, I remember it. Okay, so example. So even if you are working from your office, then you have to always keep in the back of your head that something not good, something strange might happen. اوكي، هنشوف ايه السترينج اللي might happen واحنا بنتكلم على الجملة هنا معناها ايه في الليسننج. اوكي، to cut corner. What's the meaning of to cut corners? To cut corners means is that somebody is trying to do something faster, very fast. يعني أنا عايزة أعمل حاجة very fast by ignoring some important things. But لما بعمل الحاجة بسرعة جدا ما باخدش بالي إن في details كده بتسقط مني وهي بتبقى مهمة جدا. So you can do the job faster, but there will be problem later. Okay? You will also quite often learn that people are trying to cut corners with some procedures. حتى في procedures اللي المفروض نقوم بيها في ناس بتعملها ايه to cut corners كده. دي حاجة كويسة؟ أعتقد لا طبعا، لأن هي it makes problems later on. Okay. طيب virus. When I say virus, what's the meaning of a virus? A virus is a piece of code that can copy itself and perform unwanted actions on a person's computer. شفتوا بيلعب بقى الفيروس، بيلعب دايما، بيعمل ايه بقى؟ بيعمل مشاكل كتيرة جدا. هو عبارة عن ايه الفيروس؟ piece of code، عبارة عن كود كده، piece of code that can copy itself، بيcopy itself. شفتوا؟ and perform، بيؤدي unwanted actions، حاجات كلها احنا اوكي، ممكن delete information، ممكن مشاكل. اوكي، on a person's computer. ده الفيروس. اوكي. next malware. Malware is software that's designed to do something that the user doesn't want. يعني دي برامج بتتصمم مخصوصة عشان ايه؟ to do something unwanted. Like what? like steal data، يسرق كده معلومات، delete data. So a virus is a type of malware. Okay. Infrastructure. ايه هي الانفراستراكشر؟ infrastructure this is that the physical and organizational systems that help a business to run. okay. دي البنية التحتية زي ما بنقولها كده. okay. The most common incidents are incidents happening because of a virus or because of some malware which is located or which is getting into your infrastructure. okay. يبقى بتحصل بسبب ايه؟ it gets into your infrastructure، بتظهر من الانفراستراكشر بتاعتك. okay. وبتدمر الدنيا. okay. Let's right now listen. Are you ready to listen to the conversation part 2 between an interviewer and a security officer? Okay. So let's start.
Days, of course. Safe to work.
Oh, the short answer is you're never secure. So even if you are working from office, then you have to always keep in the back of your head things not good, something strange might happen, and you always have to consider the security. So first of all, treat your home computer as your computer. You shouldn't be allowing your kids or your spouses or wives or husbands to use it the same. You should always be using connections you trust, either your cable connection in your house or your Wi-Fi in your house. If your company allows this, try to use a VPN, virtual private network connection. You will never be fully secured against any threats, but using those approaches will make it work.
Now, of course, since everyone is working remotely these days, we're also seeing a big move away from storage within a company to storage using various cloud services. Is it safe to use the cloud?
Okay, the biggest problem with the cloud usually is how can we ensure that our data is secure? And being the security professional for quite a long time right now, I know that this is not a simple question to answer. The easiest way to do it is encrypt the data you're putting in the cloud before it reaches the cloud, and then put it in there. This way, you ensure that even if the data is available in the cloud, then you still hold the keys for decrypting this. And if at some point you decide that, all right, you would like to resign from using this provider, you can just, well, delete the encryption keys and your data will not be available anymore to anyone else.
Can you explain to us how exactly does encryption differ from encoding?
Encoding is just a translation of one data set into another language, let's say. So you might be using different formats of the data. You might be using the HTML, you might be using a document format or Excel format. And when the information is traveling throughout the internet, it has to be read by different devices, different systems. So they have to know the information in the format which they are knowing. With the encryption, you might be using two approaches. With the symmetric encryption, you are using the secret or the key which every recipient of the information, every user of the information has to know. With the asymmetric encryption, it is more sophisticated and more secure. Usually it is comprising of two keys, a public key and a private key. And the operation which is being done with one key is reversible only with the other key.
Can you give us some examples of information security incidents?
The most common incidents are incidents happening because of the virus or because of some malware which is located or which is getting to your infrastructure. The other type of the incidents is the phishing incident. So you are receiving the information that, all right, your password or your account in our domain was blocked. Please go to this link and provide your login and password, and we will unlock your account. In fact, we are providing this information to an attacker, to some malicious person, and then they might try to get access to your infrastructure and use your credentials to do something bad within your company. You will also quite often learn that people are trying to cut corners with some procedures or try to make something easier for themselves, or they are avoiding some procedures or doing something in easy way or installing some additional software. And in this case, you might deal at some point with an error done by the administrator.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. I'd like to thank you once again for talking with us. It's been fascinating, and we look forward to speaking with you again in the future.
Thanks. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope that the information I give you will be interesting to you as well.
Okay, so part two, again, the interviewer gave many questions for the security officer. Let's hear the first one.
Working remotely. Our big question is it safe to work remotely?
Well,
Okay, so first question was about if it's something safe if you work remotely. What's the meaning of remotely? Remotely, it means working from a distance, okay, or online, okay? So is it something safe to do that nowadays or not? Let's hear the answer.
the short answer is you're never secure.
So what did he say? No, you are never secure. Okay, so it's always dangerous when you are working from a distance or online. And let's listen to the rest of the answer.
Even if you are working from your office, then you have to always keep in the back of your head that something not good, something strange might happen, and you always have to consider the security. So first of all, you should treat your home computer as your computer in the office. You shouldn't be allowing your kids or your spouses or wives or husbands to be using the same equipment.
Okay, so will we have always to pay attention to what we're doing, to take like our precautions, whether we are working in the office or if we are working at home. So if you're working at home, actually, we don't have to allow others to use our computers. We'll be dealing with the computers at home as the same case as we are doing it with it in the office. Okay. Don't allow your kids or the spouses or whoever to be like dealing with your computers.
Always be using the connections you trust. So either your cable connection in your house or your Wi-Fi in your house. If your company allows this, try to use a VPN, a virtual private network connection. You will never be fully secured against any threats, but using those approaches will make it work.
Now,
Okay, well, he says also, or addition to this, is that you have to pay to take care of your connections. You have to be using secure connections, whether you use your connection at home securely or you use the virtual private network if your company allows this, okay?
now, of course, since everyone is working remotely these days, we're also seeing a big move away from storage within a company to storage using various cloud services. Is it safe to use the cloud?
Okay, again, we came to the second point, which is talking about the storage, how to store your information. كيفية تخزين المعلومات. Is it safe to store it? Like, because nowadays people moved away from storing in their companies. ما بقاش حد بيخزن خلاص like this. Like all people started to like store using various clouds. So is it something safe or not? دي حاجة safe ولا or not? Let's see.
Okay, the biggest problem with the cloud usually is how can we ensure that our data is secure? And
How can we ensure that our data is secure? So our main concern is to keep our data secure. How?
being the security professional for quite a long time right now, I know that this is not a simple question to answer. The easiest way to do it is encrypt the data you are putting in the cloud.
So how to do that? It means is that you have to encrypt نعمل عملية التشفير to all our information before sending this over any cloud.
Before it reaches the cloud, and then put it there. This way, you ensure that even if the data is available in the cloud, then you still hold the keys for decrypting this. And if at some point you decide that, all right, you would like to resign from using this provider, you can just, well, delete the encryption keys and your data will not be available anymore to anyone else.
Can you explain to us how exactly does encryption differ from encoding?
Okay, right now we'll talk about the difference between encryption and encoding.
Coding is just a translation of one data set into another language, let's say. So you might be using different formats of the data. You might be using the HTML, you might be using a document format or Excel format. And when the information is traveling throughout the internet, it has to be read by different devices, different systems. So they have to know the informations in the formats which they are knowing. Within
Okay, so well, he started talking about the encoding. It's a kind of like changing changing the data set from one language to another language till it receives on the cloud or something like that to be understood when it reaches that cloud or the other the people who will receive that information.
encryption, you might be using two approaches. With the symmetric encryption, you are using the secret or the key, which every recipient of the information, every user of the information has to know. With the asymmetric encryption, it is more.
Okay, so concerning encryption أو عملية التشفير, it happens just through two approaches. عندي two approaches ليها. First approach is that I hold only one key, okay, which is the secret one. Okay, let's hear this again.
The asymmetric encryption, it is more sophisticated and more secure. Usually it is comprising of two keys, a public key and a private key. And the operation which is being done with one key is reversible only with the other key.
Can you give us some examples of information security incidents?
Okay, now we're going to talk about security incidents. أي incident أو حوادث حصلت في السكيورتي does he remember?
The most common incidents are incidents happening because of the virus or because of some malware which is located or which is getting to your infrastructure.
Okay, first one is the virus. Okay, any viruses get to your system or malware programs, okay, it will make interruptions to your infrastructure.
Other type of the incidents is the phishing incidents. So you are receiving the information that, all right, your password or your account in our domain was blocked. Please go to this link and provide your login and password, and we will unlock your account. In fact, we are providing this information to an attacker, to some malicious person, and then they might try to get access to your infrastructure and use your credentials to do something bad within your company.
Okay. Second incident, this is called the phishing incident. Phishing incident, to give away some of your secrets or passwords or stuff like that. طبعا of course لما بتحصل دهيت بتبقى من خلال مثلا مسج تجيلنا واحنا بنرد عليها فبيقدر الهاكرز انه just to get into your system بيعمل مشاكل. Okay.
You will also quite often learn that people are trying to cut corners with some procedures or try to make something easier for themselves, or they are avoiding some procedures or doing something in easy way or installing some additional software. And in this case, you might deal at some point with an error done by the administrator.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. I'd like to thank you once again for talking with us. It's been fascinating, and we look forward to speaking with you again in the future.
Thanks, it was pleasures.
Okay, so, well, third one is about cutting corner. Do you remember when we talked about cutting corner? Is that whenever you like to do something very fast, but you miss some details when you are doing this thing, so it makes errors again. Okay, so this is some of the incidents that he does remember. So let's have a look at the questions. Question number 1. So we'll select the correct answer options according to the conversation. Question number 1. According to the security officer, what do you think is the correct answer? According to the security officer, family members can use your work computer with a VPN ولا The only way to be safe is to work from the office. ولا a VPN will guarantee that your computer is secure against any threats. ولا family members should not use your work computer. What do you think is the correct answer? Very good. Yes, family members shouldn't use your work computer. Number two, question number two. The security officer recommends يعني بيوصي بإيه deleting the encryption keys once the data is in the cloud ولا not using the cloud at all ولا giving the cloud storage provider copies of your encryption keys ولا storing encrypted information in the cloud. What do you think? Let's think. Uh-oh, this is not correct. What do you think is the correct answer? Exactly. The security officer recommends that storing encrypted information in the cloud. So whenever you send anything in the cloud, it should be encrypted. Okay? We have to store all our information in an encrypted way, okay? Not to be stolen, to be secure. Question number 3. Asymmetric encryption is less secure than symmetric encryption, ولا needs a public key only, ولا requires a public key and a private key, well, is the translation of one data set into another language? What do you think? Very good. So he said that we have two approaches, symmetric and asymmetric. Asymmetric requires a public and a private key. Question 4. What does the security officer say about information security incidents? فاكرين incidents قال عليها ايه security incidents they can be avoided by cutting corners. The most common types of incidents are external attacks or internal mistakes. Phishing incidents are the most common and dangerous. Viruses are not a type of incidents. What do you think? Okay, so what is the correct answer then? Yes, that's right. Well, the most common types of incidents are external attackers or internal mistakes. Okay, and that was the end of the questions of listening and the end of second part of our session for today. I hope it was so enjoyable and interesting for you as much as so beneficial for everyone. I hope you got all the modules and I want you to start studying for the final exam, and we'll think of like giving you training on all of the modules that we've like talked about, and we covered them fully. And I would like to thank you at the end of the course for all my listeners, followers, students, and specialists everywhere. I hope that you enjoyed the course. Course 1, I'm waiting for you. Course 2, thank you so much.